The Mercedes-Benz GLA has received significant upgrades for 2021. Does this finally make their smallest crossover worthy of hitting the trails? We see just how far we can take it on this episode of Driving Sports TV. The GLA 250 we're testing today came with the standard 251 horsepower Turbo 4 and optional 4MATIC all-wheel drive. It's loaded with extras, boosting the base price of $38,230 all the way to $51,205 US, including destination. In the past, we've been pretty impressed with 4MATIC's ability to move power around to where it's needed. Does that hold true even on this entry-level Mercedes crossover?
So far, I haven't done anything with the drive modes. This is all normal drive mode, and I have my four-wheel drive indicator up here so I can see power distribution front to back, and it's showing that, yeah, it's mostly front-wheel drive, and when you're on the freeway, it basically is front-wheel drive for all intents and purposes. And then once you're out here, you're getting a little bit of slip. I can see a little power shifting to the back. Actually, this suspension's pretty good for this harsh stuff. It's not bad at all. But can I get it a little bit sideways in normal drive mode? Let's try kicking out the back. Oh yeah, traction control definitely sticks its nose in though. Did not like that. It's now pouring rain, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here and take a quick break and hope that this weather passes. There's a lot of times where you just kind of hang out, either if you're at an autocross and you have lots of time on your hands in between your session, or if you're in the mountains and you're just waiting for a bad weather system to pass. No better way to pass it than playing what is essentially a AAA game on your iPhone, and that is Raid Shadow Legends.
I don't have a lot of time to spend learning a new game, so I really liked how it walked me through the basic mechanics without having to go through tedious tutorials. This really is a game you can just pick up and play. But if you have the time, you can literally play for hours, customizing champions, building teams, slaying dragons, the cool stuff. It also gets updated all the time. In fact, they just added a new artifact forge, where you can craft valuable artifacts directly. There's also a new advanced quest system with big rewards and new champions. As if that's not enough, Doom Tower is in development, which I'm pretty stoked about. You can find me in the game under the name R. Douthit. If you're quick enough, you can even join my clan. Go to the video description, click on the specials link, and if you're a new player, you will get 100,000 silver plus 1 energy refill plus 10 mystery shards and 1 free champion. All the treasure will be waiting for you here.
Well, looks like the rain's here to stay. I've now spent way too much time playing a game. I'll come back to that later. Let's go ahead and see how this vehicle does in the real world up the rock climb. And away we go. Oh, setup. We need a setup. I almost got distracted from the game there. We're going to go ahead and put it not just in off-road mode. No, we're going to go one step further, and I'm going to go ahead and jump up to a theme, and I'm going to load adventure theme. And what it does is it optimizes the drivetrain to give me slow, creepy, crawly power. It also, if I go full screen there, will give me incline, angle, wheel angle. It gives me all the data that I really need, except I don't have a front camera on the underside. With some of the higher end models, you can get like wheel cameras. This doesn't have that. But, this is around 50 grand. So what do you really expect, right? Okay, away we go. For glory! Oh, this really does a good job of making it so that I can creep, because of course off-road mode on the drivetrain makes it so that my throttle response is a lot slower, which is what you want in off-road, because you don't want those jerky moves. You want to be able to smoothly apply power. I also see that the power is going to the rear axles. Now here's the tricky part of the course. This is where I'm going to take all traction off of this wheel and that wheel. And this is where we see how well brake vectoring gets us out of the situation. I just keep my foot in it. You can even see it happening on the graph there, which is pretty cool. So we're at a 21% climb. And there we go. No problem. What a great system. I mean, I have always liked 4MATIC, so I'm not really surprised, but no, it's great to see that even on their entry-level model, they haven't really, neutered it. It actually works like it's supposed to. Now let's head on to the next bit. So far, no problems. It's just smooth. I really like the throttle feel right now. Now for this next bit, we're going to go deep in with the front right. And what that's going to do is going to lift the back tire, but it should give traction on these 3 tires. So we'll see how one wheel off in the back affects the climbing capability. Power, 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 power. Foot's all the way down, and then it gives up. Whoa, whoa. There we go. There we go. Come on, you can do it. This is steep. Come on, give me my gauge cluster back. Okay, we're at 22, 24, 25. There we go. Nice. Okay, so the little GLA, what are you having trouble with now? Okay. The GLA is actually really good for your basic, rocky trailhead road. It did a really good job of putting power to the back when it needed it, and overall just a great ride in conditions like this. But we're not done yet. Next one is hill descent control. This does actually have it. To activate it, I need to hit the little car button down here. I need to hit DSR up there, and it sets it. Oh, can I set it? It says 4 miles per hour. So is this just going to set it at 4 miles per hour? It does. Can I shift it down? So it defaults to 4 miles per hour, but that can be adjusted. All I have to use is the cruise control set, and I can dial it all the way down to 1 mile per hour. Nice, huh? This is great. I wish every car would do this. Makes coming down even a hill like this really easy. Unfortunately, this location isn't available year-round because soon the snow will hit. But for right now, we get to do things like river crossing. Let's see how this does. Now I got a log on the right. I have about maybe a little less than a foot deep of water and sand on each bank. Let's see if we can get through this. Oh, before I do this, let's go ahead and switch it into off-road mode. And I am not going to stop in the middle of this for sake of demonstration because I want to make sure that I can get through, okay? Okay, here we go. Water crossing. And up we go. Nice. Wow, no problem at all. This system is really impressive. I mean, short of ground clearance and short of like really hardcore articulation, this thing will get you through most everyday situations, which is great. I mean, you could hit any trail with this thing. Let's do that again. Now I'm gonna try to cut it really steep on the inside, and this is where our Volvo actually got stuck almost last time. That was the E all-wheel drive version. So let's go up the sand. Oh, slow, slow, got it. Grip is good. I should check what tires these are, because these things are actually doing great. Continental somethings. Oh, there it is. Pro Contacts. Yeah, those work great. I am a little concerned about ground clearance, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the vehicle and see what the real ground clearance is, because they claim 5.3 inches, which is ridiculously low, but they also note, Mercedes does, that that is with the vehicle fully encumbered. Obviously, one driver not fully encumbered. So let's see what it is. I even brought with me a tape measure. So, the bottom is really flat. I don't see anything hanging down under 8.5 inches. That doesn't seem like that can be right, but Actually, this sill right here, the bottom of it, is exactly at 9 inches.
Now let's put that clearance to the test with our most challenging crossover course, the cross-cut climb.
Now, before we get all the way to the really hard part, we're gonna start on this lower incline and just see if it's good enough for the final challenge. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is switch this into adventure mode. For that, I just switch it over to the theme adventure. Like all other cars that I put on this particular course, I'm going to stop halfway up, and then I'm going to start again, and we'll see how the all-wheel drive system responds. Okay. So I'm going to go halfway up, about right there, and we're going to stop. Now we're at a 33% incline. So this is pretty steep. And now let's see how this power gets transferred around the 4MATIC all-wheel drive system. Showing lots of power to the back. Can it do it? Can it do it? Up, and it cuts out. I think we need a little more momentum. And here we go. Up we go, up we go. It's spinning those tires, those Continentals. Can it make the crest? We have to be really careful because it doesn't have a lot of ground clearance. I'm detecting it's gonna rub there, so I'm gonna reverse a little to avoid the rub. Woo. This is where more power would be good. Gotta go slow. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Up we go, up we go. Yes! Oh, that was not easy. That was not easy, but it did make it. I'm not sure how well it's gonna do against that though.
As we've seen, the 4MATIC all-wheel drive system has done a good job of transferring power from the front wheels to the back through the electronically controlled transfer clutch. That means it can go from 100% of power to the front wheels, for economy, to a 50-50 split, instantly improving traction, without the need to build pressure like the older hydraulic system. When wheel spin is detected, it engages individual wheel brakes to stop the bleed of power and redirect it back into the system. This design, which relies heavily on electronics and brakes, is quite simple compared to the G550's low range with 3 physical locking differentials. But where a lot of people can afford the GLA if they really wanted to, the G550 is more than twice the price. Now let's see if this little GLA 250 can rise to the challenge.
Now it's pretty common for me to stop midway just to test out the system. This is not one of those situations. This one I have to maintain momentum, but only so much momentum to get me over the obstacle, and not so much that I'm gonna take off my bumper as I go over the crest. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I'm in off-road mode still. Let's do this. I'm gonna try to straddle. Now the biggest issue here is that I'm on a really steep incline and I am losing complete traction on, well, right now it's that wheel. Come on, can you do this? These tires are really just all seasons, and I'm afraid it doesn't have enough power to the back. Can you do it? Can you do it? Momentum, momentum, momentum. Foot's in the throttle, it's not doing it. Interesting though, it showed half of available torque going to that one tire. That's interesting. Let's see that again. Nope, let's get those wheels straight. 29, 28, 29, 30. Come on, can you do it? Can you do it? Oh, no, it doesn't want to overheat itself, obviously. Let's try a little more to the left. With a little more momentum. What? Is it gonna do it? Holy smokes, it made it! Yeah! This little car just blew my mind. Holy moly, it did it! Now I need to give it a little bit more momentum, but I didn't scrape the underside. I didn't smash the front bumper. The transmission never gave any indications of overheating. I was just concerned it would just because of physics. Wow. Okay, now we gotta watch out for gravity here, because this is steeper on the way down than it was on the way up. and I gotta watch that crest. Oh, I need to get as straight as I can, or I am going to, I don't have a lot of ground clearance. So I have to approach this as straight as possible so I don't break a rocker panel off. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and switch it into hill descent control mode, and I'm gonna dial that down to 1 mile per hour, and we'll get this party going. Listening for scratching, none. I do have my foot on the brake right now. Okay, release, 1 mile per hour descent. Oh! Wow, it uses those 4-wheel brakes to get me straight, get me down controlled. Brilliant. So there you have it, the GLA 250, amazing little vehicle, even if you want to do the hard stuff. Now granted, you do have some issues with ground clearance, but as you can see today, you can do some pretty extreme stuff. You want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Also check out all our historical videos. We've taken a lot of vehicles up here. You won't believe what we've tried. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. We'll see you again right here next week.